Welcome into Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. We begin with some breaking news today as Manscaped is now selling beard products. And we'll tell you more about it coming up later in the show. But you can get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com with the promo code Seahawks. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler is reporting that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be interviewing Seahawks quarterback coach Dave Canales for the offensive coordinator job, according to sources. Canales had a second interview with the Ravens this week, now set to meet with Tampa. Canales has been a longtime staffer with the Seattle Seahawks. He's been very loyal to Pete Carroll. Obviously, the Seahawks are not going to promote him to the offensive coordinator role. That's held by Shane Waldron, and the Seahawks are pretty pleased with him. But if Canales leaves, that would be a blow to this Seahawks team who has been very dependable on Canales. He's served a number of roles. We'll see if Seattle can still find a role for him of some sorts and pay him when he's being looked at for other roles around the National Football League. What up, Seahawks fans? Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. It is Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Coming up on today's show, we have the latest Seahawks news and rumors. We're going to discuss the possibility of drafting Anthony Richardson as the Seahawks are possibly looking at adding the quarterback from Florida, as CBS Sports has suggested, along with still keeping Geno Smith around. Also, should Seattle re-sign Rashaad Penny? What would that look like for them potentially to bring Penny back? We'll discuss all that and more in just a few moments. Let's start with the idea of drafting Anthony Richardson. According to CBS Sports, they say that Seattle is a good fit for the Florida Gators quarterback. Now, there's a lot of different ways you could look into that, but let's go ahead and get into the specifics according to Josh Edwards of CBS Sports. Seattle and veteran quarterback Geno Smith are working on a contract extension, but do not rule out the possibility of the team drafting a quarterback. With 2 picks in the first round, including number 5 overall, the Seahawks would be wise to prepare for life after the incumbent 32-year-old starter. Richardson is the most naturally talented quarterback in the draft, but he has little more than 1 year of starting experience. He's incredibly raw. The opportunity to sit behind and learn from Smith would be beneficial to Richardson. The Gainesville native averaged 8.6 carries per game this season. To maximize his skill set, a team would design opportunities for his massive frame in space against a smaller defensive back. Seattle ran play action of 15.9% of plays last season. You know, the kids these days, and parents, I'm sure you've probably heard this before, they would say, I'm calling Cap. Well, I'm going to call Cap here. No, there's not a world where you draft Anthony Richardson and you still pay Geno Smith. Look, to me, that just doesn't make sense. I'm not a fan of Anthony Richardson at all. And the idea that you would pay him all this money, Geno Smith, potentially, and still have Anthony Richardson there, that just doesn't add up for me. And here's the thing. When I look at Anthony Richardson, I understand he's number 4 on Mel Kiper's big board, 21 overall player and all that, but look at the numbers that you see on your screen right now. Less than 54% completion percentage. Less than 2,600 passing yards. I understand he is a hell of an athlete. 654 rushing yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, but he's incredibly raw, which is something you are going to hear a lot. More on that in just a second. But to me, there is a project with Anthony Richardson, and my worry, my fear, based on what we've seen, granted it was a small sample size, that's kind of just it with Anthony Richardson, that he's not going to get much better than what he already is. I'm not in a position where I'm Seattle trying to build a Super Bowl roster, like John Schneider says, to sacrifice a pick on a project like that. Here's Mel Kiper. Richardson is still very raw. His mechanics and footwork need a lot of work. He has accuracy issues on shorter throws that should be easier, and yet the arm strength and the dual threat ability are so intriguing that a team near the end of round one, absolutely could take him and let him develop. We have gone through two different sources, ESPN and CBS Sports, and me too, and you've heard the word raw. Take a drink every time you hear the word raw when it comes to Anthony Richardson. I think I got some Fireball here. Maybe I could go ahead and just take the drink for you. But nonetheless, you are going to hear that a lot when describing Anthony Richardson. And I'll say this much. When it comes to the quarterback position in this draft, there are only two quarterbacks that matter to me, and that is Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. If you are in a position to get one of those two, you take them, I think. But beyond that, if it's Will Levis, if it's Anthony Richardson, some of the others, no thanks. I'm out. I'm good. And here's why. Because look to next year. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Quinn Ewers, just to name a few. You are going to have an excellent quarterback class next year, even if Geno Smith isn't your long-term solution. What you can do now is pay Geno, build everything else, and look for that quarterback next year. You don't have to get that guy now. So, should Seattle draft Anthony Richardson? What do you think about that possibility? Are you in or are you out on the idea of drafting Anthony Richardson? If you want to draft him, type D for draft. If you don't, that's fine too. Type P for pass. Let me know in the comment section. Do you want Anthony Richardson or not? It's our pinned comment today. Type D for draft, P for pass. Now, let's move on. SI All Seahawks, Corbin Smith and the gang over there has suggested that Seattle could still potentially sign Rashad Penny for a cheap deal. Now, if you recall, it seemed like, even just within the last couple weeks, that this was a done deal, that Rashad Penny was not going to wear a Seahawks uniform ever again, but there still is a possibility that could happen, that there's a circumstance where Rashad Penny is back in Seattle as the number 2 running back behind Kenneth Walker. We'll explain what that is and go into the contract situation, what it would take to make that happen in just one moment. Before we do, breaking news. Manscaped is now selling beard products. That's right. Our friends at Manscaped have gone from Balls Mafia to Beard Mafia in 2023 to keep you well-groomed from head to toe with their brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. In this package, it all starts with the Beard Hedger. This cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel with 20 hair cutting links, all with one guard. So no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. Sculpt your beard to a championship level this season with Manscaped and tame your mane by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with code Seahawks. So get 20% off and free shipping with our code Seahawks at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use our code Seahawks. Avoid the blitz and take your beard to the promised land this year with the brand new Manscaped Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Get yours today. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit also comes with the dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim hygiene, beard shampoo and conditioner, beard oil, and beard balm. Look, I know I don't have a beard. I'm a clean-shaved guy. But if I did have a beard, you know I'd be using Manscaped for this. Get yours now. You'll be glad you did. Use that promo code Seahawks. Save 20% plus free shipping. Manscaped.com. Promo code Seahawks. So here is what it would take. A potential situation, according to SI Seahawks, that would make sense to bring Rashad Penny back. Just a one-year deal, only pay him $1.5 million with some incentives. Remember, he was brought back this past year on a one-year deal that was $5 million. So he'd be taking a pay cut, but you're not going to pay him that much. It's $1.5 million. Look, if that's the case, if we find ourselves in a situation where Rashad Penny is willing to play for $1.5 million, how do I say no to that? I'd sign him at that rate. In that circumstance, at $1.5 million, for a guy that's as talented, granted there's been the health issues, but you can't argue the talent level. The talent level's been there with Rashad Penny. $1.5 million, that's a bargain. I will take that for Rashad Penny at that price. but I'm not paying him even the contract that he got paid last year. I'm not paying him $5 million. 1.5, we can work with that. That's fine. If it doesn't work, that's okay. You got other options potentially. It's not the end of the world to give him a few extra bucks at $1.5 million. Now, I'll say this. Even if you bring Rashad Penny back at that price tag, this still shouldn't stop you from drafting a day 3 running back. The Seahawks have a lot of draft picks. They have several needs to take care of. But I'm telling you right now, Seattle needs to look in particular to day 3 and the draft capital they have in day 3 to getting a running back then. And even if you bring back Rashaad Penny and you pay him, let's say $1.5 million, don't let that hesitate you from still looking to day 3 running backs. I think the running back position, we talked about this in the office today actually, drafting a running back, even if it's late, a day 3 guy is almost like what we've seen teams like the Patriots have done in the past, where they always draft a quarterback anyway, even if they already have their franchise guy. It gives them another asset of some sorts. Even if I like Rashaad Penny, if I'm going to give him $1.5 million, I'm fine with still drafting. I would draft a running back day 3 as well. So, tell me this. Should the Seahawks re-sign Rashaad Penny? With the case that we just laid out for you, of not that much money, just $1.5 million, would you do it? If you would, type Y for yes. If not, type N for no. Let us know in the comment section. Y for yes, N for no, if you would re-sign Rashaad Penny. Here is what Corbin Smith had to say about the possibility of re-signing Rashaad Penny. Averaging 5.7 yards per carry for his career, he's been a major weapon when the Seahawks have had him in uniform and in a secondary role rotating with Walker. The 230-pound back could still be a dynamic change-of-pace runner, capable of hitting a home run anytime he touches the football. The numbers for Rashaad Penny. You can see yards per carry, solid, 6.1 this past year, 6.3 the year prior to that, but obviously missed most of 2020. 2019 was limited to 65 carries that year. The running back room, once you go beyond Kenneth Walker, it's really up for grabs. We could live in a world where the other backs beyond Kenneth Walker are all not back next year. So you know that you need guys. Rashaad Penny, if he's willing to play for $1.5 million, sure, he can be running back number 2 and then go draft somebody to be your RB3. Mel Kiper, his top running backs this draft. Bijan Robinson, expect him to be a first-round pick. He won't be in a position where the Seahawks could be able to bring him in. Then there's others like Dwayne McBride from UAB, Gibbs from Bama, and a couple other names potentially there for the Seahawks. There's some good backs in this draft. Let's just see if they find a way to bring one of them in or not. Name a running back the Seahawks should draft. Somebody that comes to mind. Think of a day 3 guy potentially. And if you want Bijan Robinson, that's fine, but I don't see a world that happens. But go ahead and tell me anyway. Who do you think the Seahawks should consider? Tell me in the comment section. You also tweet me at Tyler Jones Live, Facebook and Instagram as well, talking about your Seattle Seahawks on those social media platforms, and we will see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.